Thanks everyone for joining us at Studio 40. This is the episode number 7. Today's guest is Miss Nancy Clarke. Nancy has been a wonderful role model because of her intellectual curiosity, classy appearance, and assertiveness that comes with such kindness. She lives with a 34-year-old male in her beautifully and artistically decorated apartment overlooking the panoramic view of Manhattan. Nancy and I share some memories of a dear friend, Ellen. Nancy, can you tell us a bit about your childhood?
Sure, I'd be happy to. It was a very happy childhood, I'm delighted to say. And I grew up in a lovely area in New York State in the Mid-Hudson Valley. It's in the area of New Paltz, and it's known as the Wallkill Valley. And we lived in a rather remote area. The nearest town was 2.5 miles. But it worked out very well because I developed an appreciation and really a love for nature. Mm-hmm. And I still have it, even though I lived in New York City many years before I married. Mm-hmm. And I still have that love and gardening, flowers. Mm-hmm. It was happy times.
Right.
It was basically a farm area, apple orchards, and a lovely central school, mm-hmm. small, so you got to know all your classmates, mm-hmm. and it was just great. Yeah,
I see.
I'm very lucky.
Do you still have family there or in that area?
No, I have classmates, a few classmates. Yeah, I wish I did. Yeah, but unfortunately, my dad passed away fairly young, so my mom moved back to where her large family was from, in Westchester County.
Can you tell us a little bit about Archie?
Archie, oh, I would love to. Archie has been my male companion, Debbie, for 34 years.
Okay.
He's handsome.
He's very, very loving. Mm-hmm. And he's a 34-year-old blue front Amazon parrot.
Beautiful.
Very nice.
Yeah. And he greets me in the morning with good morning, mm-hmm. and has many, many phrases. He speaks either in my voice or my deceased husband's voice. Mm-hmm. And even if I step out of my apartment for, 5 minutes, mm-hmm. to visit a friend, to visit Yuko, or mm-hmm. to do my laundry, mm-hmm. Archie welcomes me back. He says bye-bye. And then when I come back, he says in a very sweet voice, hello.
Uh-huh.
Oh, nice.
Yuko,
Yes.
you've heard him.
Yes, I heard.
Yes.
Yes.
He sings.
What's that?
Yeah, he loves opera.
Oh, he likes opera. Very nice.
Opera, mariachi,
Uh-huh.
music.
Uh-huh.
What else? He's a great companion.
You said birds don't talk.
Hmm?
Birds don't talk.
Oh, yes, that's his favorite. Lately, Yuko, he hasn't been saying that.
Really?
But I have to remind him. He says, Debbie, in a clear voice, if you say hello, he'll say, birds don't talk.
Oh, okay. Where do you get that one?
That always gets a laugh, right?
He's a comedian.
And you've heard him perform, Yuko.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, he loves to have visitors. He's very social.
Yes.
Actually, all parrots are social. They have to be socially involved. Otherwise, they just lose it.
Oh,
yeah.
I see.
So he does require a bit of attention.
Mm-hmm.
And he thrives on attention.
Doesn't like going outside, or he's just
Outside.
He
She
what?
lives on the 34th floor.
I know. You have a balcony? No.
Oh, I do have a balcony, but fortunately I have it netted in.
Oh, okay.
And I did not we did not have it netted in for Archie, but we used to have pigeons visit us, a lot of pigeons. So we accepted an offer to have it. We decided to have it netted in. So I am able to sit out in the evening, on summer evenings with him, and we'll talk, we'll watch the cars and the boats, and he loves the view
It
too.
looks like Archie likes to check out everything.
Yes.
Very
Oh,
smart.
yes. Very curious,
Yes,
Debbie.
yes.
Oh, yes.
I don't think
Everything.
He likes just to be in the house. He wants to be outside.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
at least that way he could be outside in the balcony, but still
Yes.
interacting with nature as well.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Occasionally we'll see another bird fly by, and he gets very involved watching. And he's not confined to his cage forever. I do let him sit on top of his cage, and when I leave, I do keep an eye on him. But then if I have to leave or step out, I ask him to go back into his cage, because they can get into trouble chewing wires, electrical wires. I worry about him. So when I leave the apartment, I make sure he's back in his cage. Yeah.
It's built in his own
Keep him
protection,
happy
yeah.
and safe, really. Yeah.
Can you talk about your friend or family who impacted you,
My family,
or your friend?
oh, my mother and father were my main influence, and they were just wonderful, terrific people. I lost them too young. Before I finished college, they had
That was sweet.
both, yes. But they were just terrific people, yeah. My dad was musical. He was intellectual but not stuffy. And my older brother has been a terrific role model and also friend, my best friend. Yeah, he's been there for me. Yeah.
I remember that episode that you told me about you calling your father while you were in college about Latin.
Oh, yes. Yes. I complained because they decided to put me in an advanced Latin class, and I had not done well in my high school Latin. So I had hoped to go into a beginner's class, and instead I was put into an intermediate class with other students that were very, very proficient in Latin. And so I called my father and kind of cried over the telephone and said, I'm going to flunk. I know I'm going to get an F. And I went on and on. Can you do something about it? No. And finally, Daddy said, how about getting the Latin book out and studying instead of calling me?
Tough love.
Tough love, yes.
Why
Don't
don't
give
you?
up so easily.
Right, exactly.
But for you to complain, it must be really hard. The Latin.
It was hard. I did pass, but barely. I kind of squeaked through. I got a D. And I was
But
so
you
happy
passed.
to see that D.
Yeah, well, you worked hard for that, D.
And
I did. I
the
worked
other-
very hard, Debbie,
Right.
yes.
That is very difficult.
Yes, I was showing Nancy how to do Latin in Duolingo. And Nancy's eyes were sparkling because she said, what is this? This game? Can you put it in my phone or iPad? So she knew Latin because she took
A little
Latin
bit has
class.
stuck. And Yuko, believe it or not, my big interest on Sunday is the crossword puzzle, the New York Times crossword puzzle. It's kind of a challenge for me anyway. And Latin has helped me a great deal.
Wow.
And my father used to say, someday you will thank me for
That's
encouraging you.
It's like an unexpected.
Yes,
gift.
yes, it is. Like, it sure is.
You didn't think you were going to use it ever.
It also helped me with Spanish. Yeah, I had the great privilege of moving to South America right out of college, and I was able to pick up Spanish fairly quickly
Nancy's
because it's
fluent.
harder than Latin.
Yes.
I mean, it's easier than Latin. Latin is harder than Spanish for me.
Really, I see.
Uh,
So Nancy is fluent in Spanish, and it helps that she can communicate with everyone in the building. We have a lot of Spanish-speaking
Yes,
workers.
a lot of Hispanic people. Yes,
That's one of the reasons why they approach her very comfortably, talking to her in Spanish. And Nancy
yes, it
has
helps.
been,
Yeah.
yeah.
And also, I lived in a fairly small, or large town, but a small city when I lived in Venezuela, and there weren't that many English-speaking persons. So my social life basically was all in Spanish. So it was like, you know,
You are licensed to teach also, right?
yes,
Did
I
you teach?
elementary ed. Yeah,
Did you teach in Venezuela?
I did. I was fortunate enough to
Wow.
get a job because my Spanish wasn't that good when I arrived. I still have a very heavy accent in it, but they needed a second grade teacher in the international school, an English speaking teacher, because they didn't want, they wanted the children to keep their English up, I guess. And so I was able, after I was there a month, I was able to step into a second grade teaching job, which was terrific.
Only
terrific.
after a month.
That's good.
Wow.
Yes. Otherwise, I would have had a rough time getting work. And so it worked out great.
Right.
But this wasn't in my plan. It just happened.
Your life, I mean, it's just like God has written a scenario for you.
Yes.
And you're the great actress acting the
Acting it out.
scenario given to you. But that's all we do. We don't know what the future has for us.
Well, a few times I put a lot in his hands. And I've been very lucky. I'm knocking on wood. Yeah. Been very lucky in that
Lucky
respect.
with a smile. Smiling. Lucky with a smile.
Oh,
Very cheerful.
Yes.
You have a very happy air around you.
I try to stay cheerful.
Yes.
It's hard. It's not as easy when you get older. You're both younger, but to stay cheerful and, if possible, try to stay around cheerful people. It helps, if
Right.
possible.
That's very true.
We can't always do that, but it's, if possible, it helps.
Do you think
I had an older friend that told me years ago, I said, "What is your secret to staying so active and happy?" She said in slang, "I'll give you a word of advice. Hang with the Happies."
I like that. Yes.
Hang with
Hang with the
Happies.
That's true. Yes. I like that. Yes.
that's one of the motivation you got for starting a business at over 50?
Yes,
Our
I did. I was
business.
in my late 50s. I went into business with a cousin who had been living most of the time in Florence, Italy. And the two of us decided that we would go into business. And she was an artist, and her specialty was botanical paintings, watercolor botanical paintings, mostly for decorative art.
The ones that you hang on the wall?
Yes,
Yes.
wall art.
But you were a
And
wholesaler.
Beg
You were a
pardon?
wholesaler, not the...
Yes, we leased a place in the D&D building over on 3rd Avenue. We only sell to decorators and designers and architects, so we were only open during the week. Yeah, it's right across from Bloomingdale's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just trying to figure out where that was.
And we did very nicely. It was a lot of fun. She had the frames brought in from Florence, so they were all handmade, beautiful frames, and it's a little. Are we still on?
Yes.
It's a little sad because we were really fairly well established, and she became ill. So when she passed away, my husband had retired already, and I wasn't interested in keeping the business alone. So, but it was a great experience.
Right.
Great.
So how many years was that you had the business? How many years?
We were in business for 7.5 years.
That's a long time.
In 2 different showrooms in the D&D building. And at that point, it was the 90s, and botanical prints, watercolor and prints, fine prints, were very popular among decorators and architects. So we had a good audience, and it worked out fine.
Right. But the paintings that you have, that they look vintage to me. Aren't they vintage?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. They aren't, really. You said recent?
Yeah, that one on the wall.
Oh, yes,
Yes.
because of the colors.
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
the
they were
colors.
actually,
Subdued
she painted that
colors.
in the 70s, I think.
Oh,
But that was one of her originals. The rest, a lot of them were sort of copies of Ray Douté and some of the old masters, you know, from 17th century.
yeah, it looked like came from
yeah.
17th centuries. Or,
Yes, yes. It's still pretty current, isn't it? You've
Yes.
seen them, yeah.
Yes.
I don't think that's gonna go out of style. It's just people like that.
Right, right.
My
Right.
husband says, why didn't you ask Nancy if it's okay to take some pictures of her decoration in the house? Because it's so beautifully done.
Yeah. Did you take a few pictures? Yeah, I had taken.
No, I haven't.
Oh.
I wanted to
That was-
ask you
that
first.
was
Oh,
to
you-
have
of
those
course you
little
can.
photographs
Sure.
on your wall. Go have them as a slideshow, you know.
Right.
Yuko, since we're neighbors, may I ask a question?
Yes.
How long have you lived in the building? Because our mutual friend
Yes.
introduced us, and
Yes. 34 years.
34 years,
Yes.
and I'm about 38 years.
Oh, 38.
Yeah.
As we are seeing the other day, and as I was leaving, Nancy tells me, drive carefully. We are in the
Because
same
we're only 10
Only-
floors.
elevators way. But our elevator upgrade is taking forever, so
I know.
we wait for 20 minutes.
Yes,
to
the
come.
mechanical problems,
Yes.
terrible. Yeah.
It's
I hope they're able to
modernization.
fix them.
Yeah, it's taking a long time.
I don't mind it as much now because I'm retired. But if I were still working, I'd be
That would be difficult.
In the
rushing.
morning, I'm thinking a bus in 10 minutes. I'm late because the elevator doesn't come.
I
in
know,
10
I know.
minutes or 15 minutes. Waiting.
You have
You gotta allow
Extra time.
to get on the elevator, and hopefully you make it for your bus.
Right. And the bus stop is just
Let me
in
get
front.
start running. Let me start running
Yeah.
for my bus.
Very close. In front of the building is the bus
Yes, yes, it's terrific.
Oh, that's good.
But
Yes.
Very good.
somebody could say, a friend of mine said, well, you could take the stairs. No, I'm on the 27th floor.
stop. Yeah.
And Yuko is on the 21st floor. It's a little too far.
That's far. It's bad for
Exactly.
our
Maybe
knees.
going down in an emergency.
See,
But
I'm on the third floor in my building, so that's not a problem. 27, we're not trying to
yeah.
climb up
That's
27.
Too much.
Where do you live,
over
Debbie?
exercise.
In Sunnyside.
In Sunnyside, yeah. So you're not far from the city at all.
No, 20 minutes from the city.
Oh, terrific. Yeah. You've been there a long time?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I used to live in Flushing when my parents are still living there.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Yeah, that's where the tennis is played, Flushing.
Yes.
Yeah. What is it, the U.S. Open?
Yeah.
It's called City. How do you call
Well,
that?
City Fields is
City Fields is the
Fields
baseball.
the baseball, and now they're gonna start building I call it the new mini city next door to it,
Really?
because they used to be all auto shops.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah, on where Willis Point is.
So what will it be?
So
Like,
that's gonna be like stores. Supposed to have
Like a mall.
malls or low
Oh.
income and residential complexes.
Mhm.
Then they're gonna have like a little sports
Complex?
It's gonna
Really?
be, I think, like a little mini city.
The
Yeah,
same
Nice.
stuff,
right,
right?
right next door to City Fields.
and will they have big stores like Target and,
That I don't know.
Mm.
They're trying to bring in a casino,
oh,
but the community's against it.
Casino.
Yeah, right there.
Wow.
They're trying to build
I
one
see.
right, included right in there. But
Mm.
that's gonna be a little too congested. But anyway,
Right.
that's up to.
right.
So, Ellen, my old friend Ellen, is a good friend of Nancy as well. she used to say, Nancy's my big sister, and you're my small sister, the youngest sister.
Younger sister.
Younger
Right,
sister.
right.
So,
I miss her.
me too.
Mm.
And her cooking.
Yes, yes,
Only thing I learned from her is lemon squares.
yes.
Lemon squares only.
And now she was the best baker and the best cook.
Yeah.
You just can't imagine what would come out of her kitchen. And now I found out that my friend Yuko has the same recipe and she makes even better lemon squares. Yes, they
Sorry,
were better than
Ellen.
Ellen.
I didn't know you used to do baking.
It's not very.
Debbie, they are so delicious. Oh,
I will make them.
You're going to have
Wow.
to bring some into the senior planet.
Right.
they are so good.
Anything.
But I love poetry. And I
Right.
keep a book of poetry usually in my bedroom within arm reach.
Oh, good.
Let's see.
And
In the Bible.
I keep the Bible there too.
Yes.
Yes, I do.
And
Yes.
showed me the Bible with half Latin.
Oh, that was a what they call a missal. It's a Catholic mass, and it used to be said totally in Latin. So, since people wanted to follow in English, they printed the Latin on the left, and the English was on the right. It's called a St. Joseph Missal, and I've had mine since 1960. Actually, 1959. So yes, I keep that near my bed. It's comforting to me.
Because
I
Very
think
well.
when I started going to mass, they started moving to English masses, not so much. I heard a little bit. I remember hearing Latin, but I was young. You didn't have to learn it.
Right. Do you remember it?
Some of it, not
Yeah.
totally. I was young then.
Yeah.
But I do remember the masses being in Latin.
Yes. That's all we had. And it was the beauty of it. It was universal because you could be in Italy or Germany or traveling in wherever, Spain maybe, and it was all in Latin. And usually as kids we learned, but if you didn't, you had the St. Joseph's Missal if you couldn't follow the service, and you could read it on the right.
Right.
And I still keep that missal and use it because I found a Latin Mass on my iPad. It was recommended. So I still use my missal from 1960. I love it.
Very well preserved. The book was very well preserved.
Yes,
And-
yes.
I love the sound of Latin. You were
Oh.
reading some sentences. It's beautiful.
Yes, it is. Yes. I even have some hymns in Latin. Well, there's the classic, the Ave Maria. That's in Latin. It's beautiful. And there's still some lovely hymns in Latin that I play now and then. And Archie sings along.
All right.
Yes.
So, but my religion has really kept my feet on the ground for me, yes. In addition to family support. Yeah. Very
you have
important.
A wonderful family. Your brother, your
Yes.
brother's children.
Yes,
They
yes.
come visit
My
you.
husband's children are like my own children. Yeah, and I've known them since the time they were young, very young. Lucky.
Yes.
You have just one son, right?
Just one son.
Yes.
It's in a way enough for
He's-
me.
He's
He has given me many things to experience in life.
yeah,
Yes.
yes. Debbie, do you have children?
No children.
No. I don't have any
Right,
birth
right.
children, but I'm blessed,
but
really
you are-
blessed.
Yeah, I have friends that have, I have one girlfriend that I worked at the bank and I got to see her daughter grow up because she used to bring her all the time
Yeah.
to work or to the Christmas parties. So I saw her grow up and now she's going to be graduating senior and I don't
Yeah.
know what college she's going to, but
Yeah.
that should be interesting, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like an auntie, like I am.
Auntie, yes.
Yes. And I also spent a lot of time with my 3 nephews and niece when they were young. I would visit a lot, and they would visit me. So,
They bonded with you
yes,
in
they
a
did.
way that sometimes
Because-
the biological parents cannot give the same type of love.
Yes,
No.
you're absolutely right.
Yes.
Yes. I love fishing. I used to go fishing with my father in the early morning, yes,
I see.
because we were in the real country. And I learned, I guess you'd say, a life lesson from him, because I started going fishing with him when I was about 6 years old, early morning. And I think, as most young ladies at that age, I was very chatty and talked a lot when we were fishing. And my dad was waiting for a bite, for a trout to snap at his line. And he asked me to, he didn't ask me to be quiet, but he said, sometimes speaking scares the fish away. And he said, you know, Nancy, if you're comfortable with a person, you don't really have to talk all the time. It's not necessary. So I kept that in my mind,
That's true.
because I find myself chatting sometime, like now.
No,
Oh, yes,
we are very yes. We were asking you to.
This is
Tell
your
more.
So
podcast.
I
Yes.
kept that in my mind, that don't talk too much. If you're with somebody that's a longtime friend, that's enough. And
Because many things are understood unsaid. Like you don't have to
Is
say
it-
too much. But that's why you're very quiet, but people feel comfortable around you because
thank you. Thank you.